First and foremost, I give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakwadash. Double honors to the elder bishops and apostles of Great Millstone that taught me this truth. Just wanted to go live, hit the button, and just talk about what's going on right now. Let me flip the camera. Let's talk about what's going on right now. We're in some beautiful times right now, right? We're at the end, quite literally, right? And how do we know we're at the end? Because the prophecies are speaking. How it talks about in Habakkuk 2 and 3, though it tarry, wait for it will surely come. It will not tarry, right? These visions are coming to fruition, and you can see them. You can see what's about to happen. The dollar is about to collapse, right? They're going to bring in the digital dollar, right? The mark of the beast, the famine of the word, and then the nukes, right? Talks about how there's been many prophets that have dreamed about seeing what we're seeing today. That's a beautiful thing to think about in the spirit, right? We're in some beautiful times because we're ultimately we're seeing the prophecies happen right in front of our eyes, right? And that just goes to prove that what we believe in is a sure thing. How it talks about, we believe in a sure thing. We know what we believe in, right? We believe in Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai, and that He's going to deliver His elect and the 1/3 of Israel. But ultimately, 2/3 are not going to make it. And the Lord put me through something recently that made me realize that, right? That was the lesson that I got out of my chastisement, is that I understand now why he has to destroy 2/3, right? I understand now because 2/3 of our people are completely gone, right? They're completely through, right? Worshiping other gods, into that rainbow shit, whole lot of transmissions out here, transformers, and that's a whole lot of abomination that the Lord is not with. And the thing about it is they enjoy it, right? They love doing these things, right? They love, like, women, for example, a lesbian woman. You'll tell her that she's off, and she'll tell you, nah, like, I want to get with the girl. Like, you gotta accept that shit. What the fuck? You see the confusion that's going on here in America is at an all-time high. That's ultimately what Babylon goes into. If you look into the word Babylon, it quite literally means confusion, right? But sticking to the point, I realize now why 2/3 have to get destroyed. And then, yeah, they have to get destroyed because they're not in their right mind. And no matter what, they're not going to change their ways, right? No matter what you tell them, they're not going to listen, right? They're all into these other gods, into the heathen customs that we were told not to do, right? That's why we're in captivity in the first place, because our people went off as a whole and they went on to do the things that we're doing today. But it talks about how the iniquity of today has far exceeded what we did in the past, right? The iniquity of Babylon has reached the heavens, right? But man, we're living in some times, man. It's beautiful. And the Lord, He'll let you know if He's dealing with you too. You know, like all these brothers, you be seeing brothers talking about them seeing chariots. Like I was seeing the brother in Kansas City. I was watching this video, and in the video, they all saw chariots in the sky, right? You cannot explain that scientifically, but we know what it is, right? The hopeful elect, the men of the Lord, the prophets, we know what those are in the sky. And those are signs that we are doing the right thing, right? We are doing the will of the Heavenly Father. But as I was saying, He'll show you things like that to let you know He's supping with you, right? He's with you. He's listening to you. And they are ultimately on the right path, right? The straight gate. Like, for example, personally, the Lord, Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai, has showed me chariots when I've prayed for Him. Like, the first time I asked I asked Him to increase my faith, right? Because I was at a low point. And next thing you know, I was driving and I asked him that. And I get out of my car, it was dark out. And I look up in the sky, and it's a chariot going through the middle of the sky, right? Just a ball of light, a straight orb. And I'm like, holy shit, call Allah Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai. Like, you cannot explain that. And I even took a video of it. I recorded it to show like my family and everyone else, but they saw it and they didn't even think twice about it. They're like, okay, and what? Right? They didn't believe. I could show them the most craziest things ever, and they would still not believe. But as I was saying, the Lord deals. He shows you that He's dealing with you, and when He does things like that, when He listens, when He answers your prayers, man, that's so beautiful, because it shows that we're not here alone, right? That there's a higher power, and that He's here looking over you and protecting you and listening to you at the end of the day. But another testimony, another example I have is recently, the same thing. It was dark outside. I was in a low spirit and have a chariot pass over me, right? And I was looking outside. I saw nothing. I walk inside the house. I'm like, damn. Like, and then I thought about that scripture talking about how this wicked and sinful generation asketh for a sign, but the only sign that they'll get is the prophet Jonas, roughly paraphrasing. And I'm like, damn, like I shouldn't even be asking for a sign, right? But next thing you know, I was getting my stuff ready, and I go back outside, and I look up in the sky, and what do you know? There's the same ball of light, right? A chariot going through the sky, right? Appeared out of nowhere, and is going above of me. I'm looking at it. It's literally going through the sky, just like I saw it the first time. How I have seen it plenty of times. And right there, man, I just started praising the Lord, and it's such a crazy thing. Like, that's something you cannot explain. It's something you cannot explain. The normal man, right? The mortal man that is not spiritual at all, that doesn't know the truth, he will not believe you, and he'll call you a liar. He'll be like, ah, that's just a plane. Like, look at it. But nah, you cannot tell me that's a plane when it's a it's the size of a star, and it's going through the sky, and it's as bright as a star. Like, come on now. You have to be real ignorant. But sticking to the point is that the Lord will let you know that He's dealing with you, right? And it's He can do it in plenty of ways. Like, for example, uh, one thing I've noticed is he does it through numbers too, right? He'll, like, for example, you'll see the numbers 144 all the time. That's what I see all the time. I'll see 144, 144, 414, 441. And what is that referring to? The 144,000, the elect men that stood stiffly for the testimony of Yahweh Shai, for the word, right? And that just lets you know that you're ultimately on the right path. But, man, I'm all over the place. As I was saying, just flowing in the spirit. But, man, we're in those times. And we have to really gird ourselves. We have to really strengthen our minds, because what we're about to go through is, it talks about in Daniel that it's going to be a time like never before seen, right? That it's going to be so terrible that the angel Michael is going to have to come down and help us. But man, I'm just at an awe, right? Because He saved us, or He hasn't saved us yet, but He gave us His truth in the middle of this entire world. He looked down and He saw that we were acceptable, and He gave us His truth. And there's so many people out in this world that do not know what the hell is going on. All they know is chase the bag, right? Chase the bag, chase the bag, chase the bag. But what? Talks about how gold and silver is not going to be able to deliver you in that day, right? All these things of the world are going to pass away, but what doesn't pass away is the spirit, right? The spirit is always going to be here, right? Through the spirit is how we're going to be saved. But these people they're thinking real carnally right now, right? Because the thing is, sure, these people can tell you, like right now, you have like all these channels like Redacted and all these people coming out like, yeah, what's coming is a digital system, right? They can tell you that. They can tell you what's happening right now, but they can't tell you what's happening in the future. See, that's the difference between the prophets, Salaki. That's the difference between the people in this world and the prophets. To be a prophet is to speak prophecy, and that means saying something before it happens, right? The apostles, elder bishops of Great Millstone have been saying this for years, right? Talking about how America is going to get destroyed by nuclear missiles and talking about the Mark Beast. But just now, when all these things are happening, is when these people are catching on, right? They're now saying, oh, digital systems coming, blah, 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 when the apostles have been saying this for years, right? But as I was saying, I can't stay on one topic right now. I'm just so much on my mind, but um yeah, we're in those times. And we have to really, like, I saw our brother's title. I haven't watched the video yet. He said you gotta have that dog in you, right? Because in these times that we're coming into, we're gonna have to really be men to get through whatever we have to go through, right? Because it's gonna be like all these movies, right? They don't put out these movies for nothing. These are examples of things that are gonna happen, right? And um, it's gonna be some Last of Us type shit. The show. It's gonna be some The Road type shit. That was a beautiful movie, but it's gonna be some times where we're gonna have to move strictly by faith. We're not gonna know when our next meal is. We're not gonna know where we have to go. We're not gonna know, but the Spirit is gonna guide us. Right? It talks about how in that time he's gonna perform many many miracles for the elect. And one thing about him performing miracles is, for him to perform a miracle, we're gonna have to be in some times, in some situations that we need miracles, right? Because right now we don't need any miracles to happen to us. All right, we're chilling. We can go out. We can get some food. We have a shelter, a roof on top of our heads. But when we're at the point, we have to be at a point where we don't have any food, we don't have any shelter, right? That's when the miracles are gonna come, right? So we have to be at that point first to first get the miracles. And a lot of people, they're gonna fold, right? They're gonna get impatient and they're gonna fold because they'll start getting a little hungry, right? They'll realize, damn, how am I gonna get food? Like, I need to have faith, right? I need to have faith. 2 more days pass by, damn, like he still hasn't done anything for me. Like did he forget about me? Right? They're gonna get in that mindset, and what are they gonna do? They're gonna go and get the chip, right? They're gonna conform to the beast. But the elect, they're gonna have faith no matter what, and they're not gonna do that, right? And that's even more of a faith booster. When you see all these things happening, why should you not believe, right? When you've been saying it and they're coming to pass, why in that day are you not gonna believe that you're not gonna get salvation, right? Why would you not believe that He is going to perform miracles for you to save you, right? But a lot of people, man, they're gonna get sifted, right? They're gonna get destroyed. But once again, to the main point, 2/3 of our people, or I'm all over the place. That wasn't the main point, but 2/3 of our people are gonna get destroyed, and ultimately, it's because that's how it's supposed to go, right? And the Lord has ultimately just He's made it so they can't get the understanding, right? You can drill this into someone, tell them a million times, man, a million. You can break down the scriptures down perfectly, and they still won't get it. They'll still rather go chase the bag. They'll still, these women especially, they'll still go rather chase the bag than serve a man. They'd rather go to the club, shake some ass than serve a man, right? They'd rather be lesbians and be of that alphabet crew than act accordingly and serve a man, right? It's all backwards. But we know why it's happening. And we know that ultimately there's a solution to this, right? Because that's the beautiful thing about this. We know the beginning, the present, and the future, the past, present, and the future. And that's a beautiful thing because in these times when we're really feeling vexed by the society, when we're really at a low point and we're really just, we're tired, right? Even though I myself haven't been in this truth for too long, it's been like 8 months since I came in, and I'm only 20 years old, right? I'm young, but even myself, I can see that this is not living, right? I talked about that with my brother because my brother can sort of receive the message, right? I told him what's gonna happen, and Lord willing, the Lord really strains him out and puts him on the right path. But he can see what's happening, and the Spirit jumped on him one day, and he was hyped. Right? He's like, "This is some bullshit, right? This is not called living. Working 9 to 5, barely making ends meet is not worth living. It's not called living." I meant, and this is not ultimately what the world was created for, right? We have to receive that we're in captivity, right? We have to understand that we're under the curses. We have to understand that these women are not gonna act right. Right? Yeah, we have to. One thing I learned is we have to be more accepting, right? As we go on, we have to be in that spirit of acceptance and just accept whatever comes your way, right? And ultimately, that's just a thing of experience. I was watching a brother. He was talking about how one of the reasons the Lord chastises you is so you can talk out of experience, right? It's not just what the book says, but you can also talk about your experiences, right? And one thing he also pointed out, this other brother, I forgot which one, is that in the truth, one thing you'll realize is that a, a rite of passage of this truth is losing a woman for a lot of brothers, right? A lot of brothers, when they come in this truth, one thing that'll happen is they'll lose their woman, and it's like a rite of passage. And I'm like, man, that that can't be any more true, right? Because that happened to me. But ultimately, it was a blessing, and it gave me experience, right? It really made me understand why, right? That's what I was talking about earlier. It made me realize why two-thirds have to be destroyed, right? But as I was saying, this also goes into, I don't know if I forgot if it was Ecclesiasticus or if it was Esdras, but it was going into how wisdom tries you, right? Because one thing about wisdom is that, yeah, you can talk all these things, you can prophesy, you can talk about you have to show yourself a man, but what are you gonna do when things really get down to it, and when you get tried, when you get chastised? Are you gonna stick to what you're saying, or are you gonna fold, right? Because how what I was referring to is in one of these books, it talks about how wisdom tries you and sees if you're gonna go like according to law. And after that, it gives you the peaceable fruit of righteousness. But if you don't pass through that test, you're gonna get destroyed, right? It'll leave you, it'll forsake you. And I know I butchered all those scriptures up, but it's just the just trying to give out the what it was roughly about. But ultimately, we're gonna get tried, right? We get tried daily, but it's all seasonal, right? It talks about how the devil he comes in seasons, right? You'll catch hell for a certain amount of time, but then another season you'll be chilling, right? Because the Lord is ultimately all about balance, right? And there wouldn't be no balance if we're constantly under hell all the time, getting chastised, everything going upside down. So yeah, didn't really have a topic today. I was just going through what I was thinking about, and but yeah, also caught myself. One thing I'm gonna work on for the next videos is saying yeah, you know, just examining myself right now. I really say that a lot on live streaming, but or just making videos in general, saying yeah and but yeah, next video. Look at it, but yeah, that's all I have for today. Once again, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakak Wadash. Double honors to the elder bishops and apostles of the great millstone that taught me this truth. Right? Shalom to you, leg. Shalom.